Yeah, I'm on my weird way. Get it like Toby. You on my way, don't get cozy. Give me my trophy. Yeah, I had to pray. I had to kill off the old me. Yeah, had to focus a lot. I'ma shoot my shot, Kobe. Yeah, I'm on my weird way. Get it like Toby. You on my way, don't get cozy. Give me my trophies. Yeah, I had to pray. I had to kill off the old me. Yeah, had to focus a lot. I'ma shoot my shot, Kobe. Yeah, killing my verses, living my purpose. Yeah, healing my burdens, giving my service. Yeah, I had to pray, I had to kill off the old me. Yeah, had to focus a lot, I'ma shoot my shot, Kobe.
Yo, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Unnamed Sports Show right here on Gorilla Cross Radio. Streaming live on GorillaCross.com, UnnamedSportsShow.com, Facebook Live, YouTube Live. We are live everywhere. Download the Gorilla Cross app for free. And watch us, listen to us 24/7. I'm your host, Quan59. I got my man just in time, Josh Williams, back in the building wearing the USA basketball on a loss. What's up?
Hey, listen, we are the best. It's not our fault that we just can't pick the right roster.
I mean, we weren't the best today.
I mean, listen, France gets paid too.
They get paid too.
They get paid too.
And France has NBA players, defensive player of the year in the NBA. So, I mean, they're not a bad team, and they play together all the time. Team USA, some of the players haven't even practiced with each other. Devin Booker and Chris Middleton, who else? Drew Holiday just came from the finals. Had to come in on the same plane. So 2 days after the finals, Devin Booker has to get on the plane with two people he lost the finals to. Sure. But Devin Booker has now lost 5 games in a row.
It's a rough time to be Devin Booker. I mean, for me, though, I feel like the excuse of they play together is a little overblown, just because Rudy Gobert and other players that are in the NBA, they're not playing with their national team. They're in America. So they don't have an opportunity to play with their countrymen
but their national team plays together a lot more.
Their national team might, but the main players don't play with them at all.
They have been.
I mean, during the summer, but not, but not, it's not like they play a real league schedule because they're in the league. So it's a little bit different. Every time everybody says that, I'm like, our players play with each other or play on the same team, so it's not like they play in the same conference, or they've played in all-star games. So that's a little bit overblown too.
Yeah. All right. I feel you. All right. That's enough USA basketball day, folks. It doesn't feel like Olympic season to me. Like, usually I'm hyped up for the Olympics. COVID Olympics are a little bit different.
Because the rest of our sports just finished. Like usually you have that gap.
Yeah.
The Olympics comes after the draft, after everything. We're kind of in a nice hole of nothing. There's no sports except baseball. So
yeah.
It's a little bit off. I feel you, because it doesn't even feel like the Olympics has started.
I feel you. We got a special guest co-host on this odd Sunday afternoon show.
Yes.
We have UFC fighter Justin James back in the building. Justin, how you feeling?
Hey, man, I'm feeling great. Glad to be here, guys. Thanks for having me.
The Guitar Hero.
The Guitar Hero's here. He's alive and well.
All In apparently is taken.
Is it really?
Yes. Someone last night, his nickname is All In. Man, and I thought of you, and I was like, crap, we can't steal All In. That's already all taken.
Here's the thing. I guarantee he didn't go all in. I mean, he might be all in the fight, but he didn't put his whole person in the fight.
No, he did not.
It is what it is, man.
He did not.
He's a fake all in, man. He's a fake
He's a fake all in.
I thought the same last night. He did win, though.
Oh, well.
He won.
He's a better man than me. What can I say?
I didn't want to say all that. But, yeah, no, when I heard it last night, I was like, dang.
Yeah.
I guess I can't give that one to Justin. I tried. It was a good nickname.
Sure.
You still give it to him.
Yeah. You can't have double nicknames, man. How many Spartans are there? Like, everyone's the Spartan.
Yeah.
Or the Warrior. It's like, I'm going to be all in together. I don't mind.
And I'm telling you, he should come out with, like, the money belts. Like the Ted DiBiase.
Yes.
Just create your own belt.
Yeah, I think it has to be money, man.
And, like, make it rain.
Why
you going out?
We're going to figure out a name.
Yeah,
we're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out. We're going to retire Guitar Hero, and it's going to be something.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. We have another UFC fighter live in the studio. And a lot of times, man, we deal with it a lot. We invite fighters on the show, and then they lose, and they have to take time off, which is 100% understandable. I've never fought in my life, and I want to take time off all the time.
Why are you like this?
Why not?
Why are you like this?
Did I make you laugh?
You did.
That's why I'm like this. That's why I'm like this, Josh. I do it for you.
All right.
this is actually the second time he's been on with us after a loss, I believe. We got Andre Ewell live in the studio this time, man. First time in the studio. How you doing, Andre?
Man, I'm feeling great. You know, especially, hey, after a loss, you end up taking what you got to take and move on forward and to make automatically amazing things. But for y'all to have me, it's automatically amazing. So thank you.
Hey.
We appreciate you coming on, brother. Appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, definitely enjoy having you in the studio. I know we talked to you once, via Skype. Did the video interview and stuff like that. You're in Vegas a lot doing these fights. You don't live too far out there in Riverside. What has that been like? Because, like, your last few fights have been in the Apex, right?
It has, and granted, then I'm like getting over the little small dome life. Like, I'm more of a fan pleaser and I want to be around people. So, as soon as we end up getting back to the crowd, that'd be automatically awesome.
Yeah.
As right now, got to take what you can get. And that's what's happening right now.
Because you're an entertainer. And let's talk. We were just talking about nicknames with Justin. They call you the highlight.
And I don't like that.
Mr. Highlight.
Mr. Highlight. And you don't like that nickname. So you didn't give that to yourself.
Well,
or did you in the past?
Well, in the past, I kind of put like a little voting thing for the people, and the people end up voting Mr. Highlight. And granted, this is before I met Gaethje and the whole nine. Mr. Gaethje, he's the human highlight, or etc. And I have nothing but mad respect to the guy, like especially off of not this fight but my last fight. Me and holding a conversation on the bus to the up on the elevator. Him telling me that, hey, just do you and have fun. It's kind of like when you end up around somebody and you know somebody and you end up building that relationship, you don't want to end up taking names. And I'm like the type of person like, hey, we have the same name, we got to fight for the names or type thing. Kind of keep it like a little competitive and like winner takes all type thing. But with Gaethje, it's like it's nothing but love. So he's the highlight. So I want to go back to like my original name was the Afro Monkey. Okay.
The Afro Monkey.
Hey, people love me. And that's what it was, and that's where it ended up starting from, and that's how it was automatically embedded up from there. And it's like it's a fun name to play with, and I know a lot of people are going to go left and right with it, but at the end of the day, it's how I'm feeling in there and what makes me feel me. And people got to kind of have to end up respecting that. So if you feel, say it. And if you do say it, at the end of the day, you can end up shortening it, punching it, playing with it. I end up looking at it, but at the end of the day,
so we are changing his name officially
to the Afro Monkey
on the show. Back to the Afro Monkey.
Monkey.
And you were Afro a lot going into your, the weigh-ins and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Granted that there's like two versions. There's the Afro and then there's the perm. Two personalities, but
oh no, you perm it out?
Oh yeah,
my God.
It was a perm. I don't know if you kind of was with it was versus Chris Gutierrez. I had the perm one, and even Erwin had the perm one, and this one had the Afro.
Okay.
But again, it's one of those like situations like later on in the future, like we'll say like down the line. Even granted that I'm like pushing a little pieces on it, that I'm doing like a little filming thing for it where I make my own little characters, kind of like the old Black Dynamite type version.
I got you.
And it's like you got the villain / good guy, but they're actually twin brothers, and it's personalities. At the end of the day, at the end of the movie, it's like, are they really brothers? And it's like at the end of the day, no, it's the same person with two different personalities. You're just seeing two different people. So that's what kind of like how it's like swimming. That's how the perm Afro kind of kicked in with everything.
I can't understand how Afro Monkey can go left.
Yeah.
I think but it's nowhere near Black Beast.
Facts.
Every time it's said, I'm just like, I just don't feel good. I don't feel good. But that's his nickname. You know what I mean? Like, I like it. I like it. And like you said, you're trying to feel, if it's for you, it's feeling how you felt when you first started fighting.
Yeah.
And if that's something that you can pull from, more power to you.
And then it's literally how I end up taking it. It's at the end of the day, it's what got you here and what you got to constantly keep pushing for, because most people end up getting to this higher rank, and then it's like, oh, forget what brought me here and all this other stuff, and they're like in a whole different world, and it's not like that. And that's like mad points from my boy Justin. Like, hey, when you ended up putting your money on you, I was like, the way that you broke it down and explained it to it, it was like, hey, if you don't believe in what you're doing, you're in the wrong sport. At the end of the day, if you don't believe what you're doing and you don't love what you're doing, hey, like money didn't make us. We made ourselves, and the money came. Like, you know, and money will always constantly keep coming. It's just how you got to end up like pushing and moving about things.
And even coming up, how many times did you fight for free?
That's
coming up to get to this point.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Was when it comes down to it, if you really love something, you would do it for free.
Facts.
And so if this is what you're saying you love and you're putting your all into it, I mean
and you're having fun with it.
Yeah.
Yep, that's like 100%. Because like you said, like a whole bunch of fights for free. Even got to this moment that some old coaches ended up stealing or scambling type thing.
Oh, wow.
And I was the nonchalant, smiling person of, hey, I already knew it came with the package and it's okay. Like, gave the person a hug and said, hey, I'll see you later. Like, nothing but respect. And I'm always going to give you respect because you got me where I need to be. And this is where it kind of ended. But, hey, if a future brings us back together, it brings us back together. But it's the mindsets of being happy and just doing your thing,
Yeah. Now, Justin, can you speak on, because right now Andre is freshly off of losing, right? Now that you're a few weeks, I know that we brought you on right after you had lost, maybe a few days. How are you feeling now, just in terms of getting back in the gym or working out, or how do you can you take us through the process of after a loss, like what the next step is for you guys?
Yeah, honestly, it's been a tough road, to be honest. It's trying to get remotivated, trying to get back in the gym, wondering if I still have a job, wondering if I don't have a job. But it's a slow process. It's just kind of endure through the storm right now. It's I'm just got back into the gym last week, got back to the PI, started doing strength conditioning again. And I still got a couple injuries, nagging injuries that I'm trying to get taken care of over the next couple weeks. I'm gonna have nose surgery this week, so I'll be out for 6 weeks.
Oh, wow.
So I just want to stay in shape, keep my weight low, and I expect to get hopefully a short notice fight here by October and get in there, slang some fists, and have some fun again.
So you like those short notice fights?
I just like to fight. I just like
feel
to
you.
I don't care if it's 8 weeks or 1 week.
Yeah.
4 out of my 5 fights have been less than a week notice, or 2 week notice. So.
But that'll test you staying in shape too, then.
And that's
or
tough.
Close to shape.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because when you want to get into fight shape, it's different from just being in regular shape.
Yeah.
If you can run, go jog 5 miles, you're considered in shape, but that's not fight shape. You know what I'm saying? So trying to stay in that fight shape, especially in the position I'm in right now, it's tough to stay motivated. But I got to find the little things that keep me motivated. Like my family, my son, and now I got to start making some money. So I need to stay in shape and be ready to go as soon as they call.
And coming out of the last fight, you had the injury to your shin, right?
Yeah.
You were saying your shin had bothered you a little bit.
Yeah. I got a little chip on the front side of my shin. It's right now I can't do any kickboxing. I can just do just boxing right now. Basically, now I have surgery on Thursday. I'll be out for 6 weeks with no contact. And even when I come back, I'm gonna have a full face shield on when I'm sparring and so on and so forth. And legs still bothering, but hey, all in a day, man. We're not playing Barbies. We're in there fighting, trying to knock each other out and kill each other. So.
Can you guys talk about especially you right now? We just see how Conor, how his leg gave out on him.
Sure.
The little fractures from leg kicks and different things, even though now, everyone, it's kind of in vogue doing the low leg kick and those kind of things. When you guys injure yourself quietly and no one knows about it, do you think that more and more people are going to start having those kind of Conor injuries?
I sure hope not, man, because those could be career-ending injuries. Conor's never going to be the same. I don't care how much money he has. Like, you just can't rehab back. Look at Anderson Silva. To me, he's one of the best of all time.
Yeah.
After his leg injury, he just never was the same. He's still an incredible fighter. I mean, he's catching up in age as well.
Yeah.
But with that being said, after an injury like that, in your head, you're like, shit, man, should I throw 100% on that kick?
Yeah.
Or if I get kicked, is there going to be, there's steel in his leg. Steel isn't unbreakable. Steel bends, steel, cracks and shit. So with that being said, like I said, we're talking about one of the greatest of all time. Conor, I don't think he's one of the greatest of all time. I think he's an incredible featherweight. I think he's a mediocre lightweight, and I don't think he's a good welterweight. For him to come back from this injury would be pretty awesome. I think his best matchups against Nate Diaz, they're both coming off some losses, and that'd be the best fight, I think, coming off for him.
Which I can end up jumping off on that. Because fact is that I busted my owner bone against Martinez, snapped it. Continued with the fight and everything, but as he said, ain't the same. Like, granted, got the whole plate still there chilling and everything, still not the same. And it's
physically and mentally, right?
Oh yeah, it's 100% mentally, automatically. Like, you want to throw it, I'm about to throw it, and then at the end of the day, as soon as you do throw it, it's like, all right, you might have cracked them, and it's like your head is, I think I might have threw it too hard.
Mm-hmm.
So now it already changed your mindset of how you end up flowing on things. So, and I agree with the foot. It is definitely going to change everything about him, but I think it's going to either remotivate him to push himself to get back up in there. And this is when we talk about Conor and everything, like, because I am a fan of Conor, but as he said, it's the weight classes where, where he's good and where he wasn't, and where he's there. And at the end of the day, this is that fight where what type of fights are actually pit and made set for you. Like Poirier is really great at 55. You got to think about it. He's set. His body's set there.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like where he molds, it's going to be there. So you're going to have to like fish around a lot of things to end up coming up with the W with that.
Yeah.
You know, and in Conor, it's like I stated, it's like he's cool at 55, but who are you fighting? If you're fighting Diaz, perfect.
Yeah.
You know, Charles, maybe that'd be a good, interesting fight type thing. But anything that's just like you know, like a Poirier type of set level, hey, it's a uphill type battle, and you know we don't want to end up placing that octagon type thing, you know. But again, Conor, just like us, you know, he likes to fight, and you know we all like to fight. So at the end of the day, it's like, hey, just put us in there, and we'll go ahead and make magic if it ends up happening.
Yeah, and he likes to make money too, you know. So let's talk about your fight yesterday afternoon at the Apex. We just watched it with you.
Yes,
I love watching the fights with the fighters. Watching it with you, I just watch it different, right? So you're in here, and it felt like an early stoppage when I was watching it live. Then watching it with you, it really felt like an early stoppage, and you ducked a lot. You got hit. You took a really good hit.
Yeah, you took a shot
to get wobbled, right?
It was a mean one. I'll give it out.
Yeah,
it was a mean one.
And so it definitely wobbled you, right?
Yeah, it definitely wobbled me, but you end up, if you relook at it, you end up seeing me smile off it. And it's like when I get hit with something nice, I always smirk and smile off of it. Because I already know it's one of those, if you didn't knock me out, I'm good. It's just one of those things. Like if I ain't dropped, I'm 100% good. And I've been hit and been rocked a lot. Like you got to end up thinking about this. I end up sparring in a lot of street fights before I even got into the cage and everything. So I know the difference, and that was like one of those like light bulbs of, okay, it's time, we got to pick it up.
Yeah.
And granted that, you know, I'm off on the slips and I'm aware of the whole thing, but I get it.
And you're moving around.
I didn't like the camera angle to really see what happened, because when you first got hit,
when they show the replay, you could clearly see him looking. His eyes are clear.
Yeah,
he's moving around. He took a couple more hits, but there was a lot of
still moving.
The last two punches, I think he missed.
Yeah,
and then the ref jumped in on.
Yeah,
that.
it was just action.
To me, it was very early, and we talked about it before the show. The Sean O'Malley fight, that dude took
so much punishment,
5,000 hits to the face, and they let that go till the end of the third. And this, you know, end of the third.
Yeah, it was the third. Yeah,
and then that's what we got to end up looking at. Because fact is, my boy Tony, I'm call it is what it is. He was up in there. I feel like he ended up understanding that he did a premature type thing. That the fights later that he refed, he allowed like a lot more leniency, allows him to let go. Or like I said, it's that, or he ended up taking a check, and I'm going with the first one.
Yeah.
It's like I like that. Yeah. Because you know he's pretty cool. He came in the back, he's cool, you know. So I know he didn't like purposely. His mindset is, hey, you know, this is my job, I have to. But I think he realized as soon as he walked up to me, I was like, oh shit, I might have just, you know, stopped it too early. And I was telling him like, you know, you stopped it early. And he's agreeing with me.
You said that immediately.
Literally.
You said that immediately.
Because, you know, I was all there, just like I stated. Like, as soon as I got cracked with it, I smiled, and then you end up seeing, as soon as I got, like, my whole bearings, I'm good.
Yeah.
And you got to think about it. If somebody just ends up rushing you, you know, with about 10 punches.
Yeah, you got to back up and kind of just sit
trying
there.
And note this. In boxing, straight, you know, in the fighting, anything, I'm not the grabbing type. I'm just be real with you. It's either I'm swinging or I'm slipping. It's going to be one of the things. That's just how I am.
That's your fight.
That's my fight. That's how I am. So, again, if somebody rushing you with 9 or 10 punches, you know, someone's going to end up slipping in, someone's going to get in, and if you only see me dodging, you got to think about it. Imagine if everybody just actually just started out fighting like that. Like a lot of people just, all right.
Mike Tyson.
But it's it's a build-up. You got to build up before that, you know, before you get that courage to just start throwing hands. But if you don't have that build-up, what are you doing? You're waiting. You're playing the patient game. You're you know, one's taking the lead, the other one's taking the lead, but they're waiting for that one chance. He got that one chance, but granted, I felt like it was a short stoppage. The world felt like it was a short stoppage, and anybody that don't think it was a short stoppage, that means they won money. Good job.
Good point.
Yeah.
That was the right stoppage, is what it was. That was right on time.
He said money,
I thought it was great. It was perfect.
Now, for both of you guys, do you guys ever walk into the octagon or you know, before the fight and see the ref, a certain ref, and say this isn't going to be good?
Personally, no, man. I think all the refs are great. You know, Jason Herzog's incredible. Herb Dean, Mike Beltran. I think these guys are real professionals. But again, they're human beings. You know, they make mistakes. You know, I've had referees apologize after for short stoppages or even the other way too. But at the end of the day, they're human beings and they make mistakes, and it is what it is. We're all grown, so we accept it. There's nothing like we can all throw fits about like for instance my last fight, like I don't agree with the judges on some of it. I'm not gonna call Adelaide Bird and harass her. I know you will,
Christ.
but what are you gonna do? At the
She
end of the
lucky
day,
she don't got social media,
dude,
Justin.
well, there's a reason she doesn't have social media. There's a reason she doesn't have social media. But at the end of the day, what's it gonna do? It's not gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna change my mind after I just got yelled at. If anything, it's gonna roll over to your next fight. Be like, oh, this guy wanted to treat me bad. That round was close. We'll give it to the other guy. So.
Yeah, or she tells, or they talk to other judges. It might not even necessarily be that judge.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's okay. No, I'll tell my other judge friends.
You look at like Herb Dean with the Robbie Lawler stoppage against Ben Askren. Robbie jumps up. He's like, "What the hell?" And he's like, "You know what, Herb? You're a hell of a ref, man. Hey, I don't agree with the call, but it is what it is, man. You're a hell of a ref."
Yeah.
And Herb apologizes up and down. He knew he made a mistake, but at the end of the day, we're all human. We all make mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. I had something and then I lost it. I was looking at Justin and it completely went away. Go, Quan. Give me something.
My blue eyes took his soul, man.
It went away.
All blue eyes.
I got a question.
Spat right now.
Go ahead.
I got a question for Andre, man. So you make your UFC debut in 2018 against the former UFC champ. Tell me about this. I want to hear about this. Like I'm getting goosebumps. Like how cool is this? You're fighting. I saw you fight for King of the Cage. You fought a lot of people. You've had a whole bunch of big names. 2018 UFC calls. Hey, you're fighting Renan Barão, former UFC champ. You win by split decision, dramatic fashion. Tell me about that.
So dramatic fashion, one, that was amazing, right? Just the fact just in like you end up by being inside Brazil, like just note that the fans out there are 100% diehard fighters, right? Meaning like if you're from Brazil, we're 100% going for you. We don't care. We don't care who you are. Yeah. We don't like you. We hate you. We can go ahead and throw a stick at you. We're going to go ahead and do it. We're going to kill you. Like that. This is like how it was. But as soon as the fight was over, all that animosity, hate turned
energy.
into, hey man, we love you. Da da da. Can we take pictures? Screaming, yeah. It's like you get the opposite. It's just one of those like, hey, like they let you know where their head's at. It's like, hey, if you're from Brazil, we're representing Brazil. But after that, we're good with you, But like, but going into that fight, it was just kind of like funny. Like Brazil, but Henan, one came overweight 6 pounds, right? Not only that, like the buildup of the week, my man's was over there like at the bar eating pancakes.
And weighed by 6 pounds.
The whole lot, and over 6 pounds. And we already knew he wasn't. It was his last fight type of ordeal. So me in my head, it's cool, it's gravy, because at the end of the day, I almost didn't end up taking the fight / getting signed to the UFC. My mindset was, if you guys don't sign with my manager that I am with now, Dodge Sports, if y'all see it on the shirt. But yeah, with Matt and everything, my mindset was like, look, if you ain't gonna sign with him, with him, I'm good. They were trying to get me to go with a different manager or this whole nine. So my mindset was not even on it. Like, nah, I was literally walking down, or actually it was in a bank when everything was happening, trying to get a loan to get a house, because we're getting ready to be at homeless, the whole situation and everything for me. So that was like one of those peak stones of me turning down money. And as when we were sitting there speaking earlier about like you're telling me, hey, I can get $1 million today if I stab this person in the back, or I can get $1 million in a year. I just said, hey, I'm gonna take the one in the year because I don't need to stab anyone in the back, because I'm not that type. I've never been that type, and I'm loyal, and that's how it is. So, so me walking into that, it was one of those like emotional roller coasters, because like everything they were doing that whole week, me constantly going to the hospital, I didn't get my press interviews and stuff like that. And so the only time that people actually saw me was me fighting Henan. It was like, Andre, who's he? He won. Oh, okay, we're gonna take a picture with him at the end. It was just like that, but it was pretty nice.
It sounds like a Rocky story to me. Like he goes into foreign territory, everyone hates him, and then halfway through the fight, it's like, oh shit, they start cheering Andre.
It was like, somewhere in the fight, you started cheering for me, and I didn't feel so bad about you.
That would have been an epic post-fight interview, big.
And it was like one of those, like, you want to start crying, but I was so emotional, or not emotional. It was like I was so happy that I was eating in the back, because they had some pretty good food in the back. I was like, oh, so this is the UFC life, all right.
Okay.
Yeah,
UFC.
cool.
feeds us well too.
Yeah, they do.
In the media room, they have good food there.
Oh, hell yeah.
They do feed well. Now talking about, I got my question back. I remembered it halfway, and it actually kind of came from what you were saying. Can you guys both talk about fear? Like when you get locked in the octagon, because fear controls so much of us. It controls our daily life in terms of what we do and what we don't do, and harnessing it and using it. I don't want you to say that you're not afraid, because everyone has their own level of fears. You know what I mean? But can you talk about how you rise above your fear when they lock that cage behind you?
I go ahead and sit there and say it like this, because I am afraid of certain things. I'm very claustrophobic. Like if you put me in, you put me in like in a corner.
Small, man.
Yeah,
that cage is small. I hate the cage.
And if you get somebody that's just like that don't mind, like, hey, I'm about to wrestle the mess out of you. I'm just gonna fold you and hold you here and stuff like that. It's like, all right, it's just one of those moments where you just gotta accept it. Like, and I know it's like it's easier than said than done, but it's like when you accept it, it's kind of like if you're in a relationship and someone's like, oh, I can't live without her, I'll die, or I can't live without him, I'll die, the whole nine, and then they break up, and then you find out 3 months later you're still alive.
Yeah
You just got used to it.
Yeah.
Like, you tolerate it. Yeah,
it.
You accepted it, you adapted, and it's like when the gate locked, it's already happened. It's now how fast and how soon you're gonna end up basically adapting to the situation. Normally it takes like the first punch in the face and be like, all right, we're here, let's go.
I'm in the fight now.
Yeah, so that's just how I ended up with like fear, because I ended up hating wrestling. Like, just because I didn't like people just on me sitting on me, because I'm like claustrophobic when I'm not lying. And then it got to that moment where I'm like, wrestling is life to me over there. I'm like, all right, hey, scrambling skill, let's go. I'm about to go and wrestle. I'm even going like out there to Ian Butler to work on my wrestling and everything, and then like he's sending all these young killers, and even at the Olympics, they all tried out. They over here trying to kill me. So it's like, all right, I'm dying, but granted I'm claustrophobic, but I'm gravy, So now it's just about accepting it and moving on with it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. When it comes to fear, for me, I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm not afraid, but once you're in the cage, things change. I got a mental coach. UFC gave me a mental coach, and Micah, and it's all about being present. So where I'm most afraid is I'm afraid of failure. So I'm in the back room warming up. You have all these mental monsters going on. What if I get knocked out? What if I get submitted? What if I break something? What if it's a bad stoppage? What if I lose a split decision? Those are my fears. So when I got the mental coach Mike at UFCPI, there's exercise you do, and it's actually funny because if you watch me fight, I go through these exercises as a routine almost. So as soon as I come in, I'll rub my feet on the canvas, and this is something that I've practiced over time. And it's about making yourself present, because you can't worry about what could happen or what's going to happen. You got to make yourself present to get rid of these fears. So like when I get in the cage, I'll rub my hands together. It's like, okay, I feel the gloves and I feel them. And I'll rub my feet on the canvas. Like, okay, I can feel the canvas. And when you do that stuff, it makes you present. So that's how I get rid of my fear. But honestly, from the back room walking out, that's the scariest part for me. Like I got my son, I got my family watching, and oh shit,
that's on me. I can't. That's on me. That's on me.
He got scared.
So
the fear got me.
But yeah, I mean, my biggest fear is failure. So again, going through these exercises, like I said, it's kind of funny because I'll rewatch the fight and I'll say, okay, I can see me rub my hands together, and in that motion, I'm trying to think, well, what do the gloves feel like? Okay, what does the canvas feel like? And that takes away all that fear and puts me in that moment. And these are exercises I'm doing for the last 6 months with my psych coach Micah at the UFCPI, man, and it really centers me. In between rounds, same thing. I'll start rubbing my feet on the ground. All right, what does that feel like? You know what I'm saying? Because it takes my mind off everything else bad or scary that could be going through my head, and it puts me in the moment right there. So I mean, failure and getting tired are my two biggest fears, man.
I got one question for little guy now. It's off of fear. It's off of it because he brought it up.
Sure.
So his mic is hot. Okay.
It's hot.
Mr. Ben, this is the first time I've ever had a chance to ask a family member let's
introduce him first. You got to introduce him. Let them know who he is.
Oh, I didn't know if you was gonna put him on the screen. Okay, I was trying to keep Ben kind of sidelined.
Introduce him. Yeah.
This is Ben James. This is Justin's younger son. So Ben, you can say hello. Go ahead, do your thing.
Hi.
Oh God, Ben. All right,
no, we need more than that. We need more than that.
Ben,
pull that mic up a little bit.
I didn't mean to bring you out like this.
No, put him on the spot.
But when your dad's fighting, what are your fears? Like, what are your biggest things? Like, what are your emotions, win or lose, that affect you? Like, how do you feel when he goes to fight?
I just start shaking a lot. Like, it doesn't matter if he's first or last fight, but like I just start shaking whenever it happens.
Yeah. How do you does having a dad that's a fighter make you scared sometimes, just because you're scared for him in terms of what could happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Come on,
interesting.
say a little bit. Say a little bit. Say a little bit.
Do you
Tell me
watch
your
his
feelings.
Do you
I wanna
watch
know.
his fights live?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which one's been your favorite so far?
Frank Camacho.
I
Of
can't
course.
imagine why. I can't.
Or
imagine.
Gavin Tucker.
Gavin Tucker was a good scrap too, man. Yeah, Gavin's a tough dude, man.
So yeah, explain the emotions you're going through when you're watching him walk in, and just the whole scenario of the fight.
I just start shaking a lot. Like, it feels like I'm putting a vibrator on myself, and I just start shaking a lot.
Oh, wow.
Now, are you standing up, or are you sitting down,
I'm
or are you
sitting.
pacing?
And like the room feels really cold to me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just have to go outside and like feel the warmth because I get like really cold.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Gotta ask these questions of the family members, because it's a different, because I think for us, I know we've talked to other fighters about it. It would be very weird for me if I was a fighter to have, my girl there, to have, like, I know, like, you guys have family and like the family's into it, but like, I always find it interesting to see what their take on the fight is, because we're friends of you all now, and everything. Quan's starting to feel it now too. That's why I have so many freaking superstitions.
Sure.
Because whenever I watch you guys fight, it's different than, oh, I like that fighter. When you like somebody, cool, you're into it. But when you physically have an emotional connection with somebody and you've shared space with that person, it's different. Like, me watching you guys fight is totally different from me watching some dude that I don't know.
Sure.
I want him to win, want him to lose, whatever, but it's not the same. Like I vibrate, like, just like how you, like, I'll be like this the whole fight, like, and I'm like, I'm slipping punches and I'm in there with you, and it's weird. But but I find it interesting to talk to family, because it's not a take that I think a lot of people get out there.
And it's something that I know he gets really nervous about this kind of stuff. So I mean, so the UFC will come out, I'll be warming up and be like, hey, 3 minutes till you walk out, 5 minutes till you walk out, 1 minute, 30 seconds. And so I call him, I FaceTime right. I say, hey,
has he ever been to your fights live?
No, he never has.
Okay.
I'm hoping one of these days I can get him in my corner. I really want him to be a part of the whole process.
Nice.
That would be it'd be really fun. Maybe next year, hopefully, we get. But I don't want it to be at the Apex. I personally don't care fighting at the Apex. For my UFC debut, I thought it was great because it's like, oh, cool, it's new, and I get to do this. But now I'm 5 fights in, like, I want a crowd, I want some emotion. You know what I mean? And that crowd will draw. But back to what I was saying about his emotion. I know how upset he can get or emotional he can get. So I call him, I FaceTime. I say, hey, man, listen, whatever happens in there, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. Like, even if I get knocked out, I'm gonna wake up. It's no big deal. I break something. Hey, man, I'm just gonna walk it off. And I try to calm him. But even with all that, at the end of the day, I hear people that are with him, of how emotional he gets afterwards. So it is what it is. It makes me feel good, because if I wasn't here, he'd be telling everyone how much of a sissy I am, But when I'm not around, he thinks I'm kind of tough, I guess.
So is your dad your favorite fighter? And you could be honest.
No, I know it's not. I think Cody Garbrandt's his favorite fighter. I think Cody
Yeah,
Garbrandt's his favorite fighter.
Cody's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
good, Gregory.
It's actually funny because he called Cody out on Instagram recently. Like, Cody commented on some girl's picture, and he's like, hey, Cody, back off, the girl's mine. And then Cody ends up hitting the girl up, saying, hey, who's this guy texting
wow.
me? And
that's funny.
it was pretty funny. I'm like, bro, it's a
amazing.
12-year-old kid, man. Chill out, man.
Oh.
Amazing.
Ben the Savage James, I like it. We're coming out. We're gonna figure out this
Hey,
nickname,
put your
brother.
phone down,
We're
bro.
gonna. We're
I
gonna.
was gonna show him.
I can show.
He's got screenshot.
Yeah, he's
all of
screenshot.
it.
Yeah, that's right.
No, she put up the post again.
Okay.
Oh really? Oh my goodness.
That's great.
Savage, man.
That's
Savage.
amazing. Do you want to get into fighting, or do you watch it enough to where you don't even want to be involved? Do you train a little bit?
I don't know really.
Okay.
Personally, as a dad, I don't care for him to do this. This lifestyle sucks,
Yeah.
man. Like, it took me, I went to college, wrestled 4 years in college, as you guys know. Then I moved out to Vegas. For the last 10 years, I've made less than $20,000 doing privates, coaching classes at Extreme Couture. Finally, I get to the UFC. I get a big splash. I get a big paycheck. And it's like, oh shit! Last year at this time, I'm thinking I'm never gonna have to worry about money again. Like, this is it. And now I'm back to square one. So I'm here. I peaked. and now I'm back to where I started. I feel financially, you know what I mean? So I don't ever want him to go through that. As for training aspect, he has to train. When he's in Vegas with me for the summer, he trains at least an hour a day, sometimes 2 hours a day.
Nice.
Wrestling, boxing, kickboxing. Because again, you know, this world's a dirty world, man. You never know. You know, I don't want him getting his ass whipped on the street, you know, or getting mugged or something. I want him to be smart. So again, if he tells me one day, hey, Dad, I want to be a fighter, I mean, I'm going to support him because my dad and my mom, they supported me. But if he decides not to, I'm not going to be bummed.
You'll be good.
You're not going to be bummed about it.
Just be a coach.
It's like I said, man. And Andre will vouch, man. This lifestyle isn't for everyone, man. Like you see, you got the lights and you got people hitting you up on Instagram, and I'm talking like, I mean, I feel for you coming off a loss yesterday because I know that your Instagram is blown up. All the hate, and these people are ruthless, man. They the first time I lost in the UFC, I was like, oh my God, like I'm gonna kill myself. Like these people hate me. And then I'm sitting at home, it's like, wait a second, you're at home on your couch with your 150 followers watching me on TV. F off, man. Get the F out of here.
And some of them are 12-year-old kids getting under your skin.
That's what I'm saying, man. So, you know, at the end of the day, you know, we're chasing a dream.
Yeah.
You know, fighting is always, it's temporary, you know, and hopefully it opens up opportunities down the road. You know, because you can't fight forever, you know. If you live to 100 years old, you can only fight till 40. And some guys go past 40, but, you know, not many for that matter. Yeah. So, again, at the end of the day, you got to be a special person to want to do what we do.
And, Andre, how do you deal with that when, you know, after a loss or even a win, you're going to get the hate DMs, the comments and all that stuff? How do you deal with that? Do you laugh it off? Does it get to you? Do you ever jump in anyone's DMs and go back at them?
I'm be real with you. I 100% writing you back.
Okay.
Like,
all right, if it was you, hey man, I'm jumping like, what you mean? But no, yeah, I'm definitely like writing back. Right now, granted, off on this, like I said, I'm like it's blowing up. Everything's like blowing up. So, but I'm responding to everything when I can and when I can't. But the ones that like sit out heavy, like I ended up writing something like "Let me like die on my shield" type thing, you know. Someone ended up. Actually, I think it probably like followed up with 2 people, but one of them ended up stating, "Oh, well, don't you want to go back to your, you know, to your family?" And it's like, one, it's, you know, it's metaphorically speaking.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know,
I'm trying to come back out in a box.
Yeah,
like,
you know.
No, you're not. I'm really not. I was just trying to hype myself up.
You know, like I'm trying, but it's just off on that. I'm like, come on, man, read between the lines, and I had to like literally write this, like, hey, read between the lines. I'm just letting you know, like there's other fighters. Like right now, I was clearly good, and you know I was clearly good, but in your head it's, oh, well, don't you want to go to your family? Clearly, I do want to go to my son. Like, you know, I have a beautiful boy that I'm about to be. After this, you know, about to head back to Cali, too. You know,
who looks a lot like you, by the way.
Hey, see, you make me feel good, and this is on radio, cause like everybody constantly keeps telling me it looks like my lady. I promise
really?
you.
Listen,
like,
man, every time I see you with him, you got your eyes and everything.
You see, you make me so good about that.
Just no
like,
beard, that's all, you know.
See, now I want to put a stash on. Hey, because I promise you, because every time like we get around, man, like, yeah, he looks so much like Julia, like, you know, and I'm sitting there like, yeah, it's like, yeah, he does, and then but back in my head, it's like, man, my boy don't look like me. This is like hurt my heart, but no, that's good to hear though.
No, I've always thought he looked like you. I mean,
you see, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, so with him, like, you know, going back off of like showing like, you know, going back, like this is not like obviously the sport for them, but again, if this would ends up coming to what he wants to do, at least you know you'll have the tools to say, hey, I want to do this, you know, because right now my boy is like he's a soccer player.
Okay.
Like
Long
I
career,
know he
a lot
ain't
of money. Long career, a lot of money.
you
man.
feel
Yeah.
you really
Long career, a lot of money.
Golf.
Golf?
Baseball.
baseball.
If you can get your child into golf early, they can
Let's
walk
go.
to college.
Mm-hmm.
You say,
Like
okay.
not even necessarily money. I'm not talking about money yet. Like if they're like great, then money, great. But in terms of just college, like you don't got to pay for college, golf.
You hear that, love?
Because there's literally nobody plays golf, and they have to fill those slots at schools
right.
that give golf scholarships.
You're right.
So if you play golf and you can hit it straight,
And guess
golf.
what? That's gonna be my next pickup too. Cause right now I'm like starting up the whole soccer team going on up in California at this moment. So I'm like, all right, soccer's life, and just factors in June's off on it, and you know, my lady is what she's. So it's a family sport that
Yeah.
we're doing it, but If it's coming in golf is next.
There you go.
You feel me?
There you go.
We getting June in. I'm just saying. We getting them in.
Yep.
So how often do you guys watch your fights back after a loss or even after a win?
Me, I literally watch it right after, but I end up watching my fights about 5 times. It ends up taking, because you got to end up being better for the next, So what you end up seeing, what you end up failing in, and what you're not. And right now, my ending and my answering is I got to move up. I got to move up weight, because right now at 35, it's more a patient game with me, and I'm not really that patient when you end up seeing me like that. Don't get me wrong, I'm like one pick, one shot type person, but I'm more active. And at 35, it's mindsets of, hey, you kind of want to dwell on this. Hey, you want to dwell on that.
How long you been at bantamweight?
Bantamweight, I want to say since the beginning of 2016. And I don't even feel like that it was even suited for me when I was already there. And my goal was, as soon as I get in, kind of like reign and get ranked, and then try to shoot up in 45 and start fighting everybody at 45. But, kind of like play the name game and rank game. But now, the way that they're moving, like everybody's kind of like staying away from the hard fights and trying to take an easy road and all that other stuff. And I'm never that type. Like, if you look at my resume, tough. 8 fights, tough fights.
Yeah.
So it's like, and that's just how I am. And then you could say the same with Justin, like tough fights. Boys up in there.
Yeah.
Short notice fights, those fights are, hey, he's supposed to lose, but he comes in to automatically turn that off. Like, you got to end up thinking about that. So it's like little small things like that.
Yeah. Justin, what about you?
What about me?
As far as how often do you watch your fights?
Oh, I forgot what the question was.
He was talking forever.
What's the question again? Honestly, I've probably only watched the fight twice, man. And I probably should watch it more. After listening to what he says, learning and getting better from him. But I just get so frustrated because honestly, there's spots like, man, what am I doing here? Why aren't I doing this? Like, for instance, in the third round, because when I rewatch it, I see Rosa's knees buckle in the fight from fatigue. I didn't realize that he was just hurt, and I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna take him down and sub him. And at the end of the day, man, if I don't take him down, and Paul Felder and DC said, like, oh my God, he's gonna regret that takedown for the rest of his life. And initially, I was like, what the hell is he talking about, man? And then when I rewatch it and I see that he was hurt and he's stumbling backwards, barely can walk, it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Because you were on the gas too, and I was like, oh, go, please, we can do it.
I start cracking him, and then Jake Shields was in my corner. I've been working with Jake for the last 3-4 months, and we have just an exceptional side choke. And I knew he was susceptible to side choke, so like, all right, I'm gonna take him down just as we practice 100 times. Overhand right, double leg, scoop him off, right to the side choke, and it's in, it's tight. I hear him gurgling, like it's a wrap, it's done. And then 30 seconds left, my arms were just like, and then I had nothing left. Like, my coach went to hand me a water bottle after, and it just fell through my hands because I had nothing left in my grip strength. Hold a plastic water
Can you guys
bottle.
talk about that? Because I mean, like, we'll, as fans, we'll be taught, we'll be out on the screen like, oh, choke him out, finish it, and then like you just slowly see the guy's head like slide through your arms. Like, how does that feel as a fighter when you're like putting everything into trying to finish the fight, and then like slowly, you have to let it go?
And it's not a conscious thing of you letting it go. It's just like how, if you take a medicine ball and, okay, Josh, squeeze as hard as you can. Eventually, your grip is just going to stop squeezing. You know what I'm saying? It's just fatigue.
You only got so much strength. Yeah.
And, I mean,
that's amazing.
And we're all in phenomenal shape at a full camp. My cardio was great. My strength was great, man. But you can, after that lactic acid build, I mean, we've already been fighting for 15 minutes. We're talking about the last minute of a 15-minute fight.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not going to say I didn't have the gas to finish. He's a cockroach, man. He's been in this position. Bryce Mitchell put him in the side choke a bunch of times, and my arrogance got above me. I'm bigger than Bryce. I'm stronger than Bryce. If I get him in a side choke, this fight's over. I'm shorter. I got better leverage than Bryce because I'm a little shorter than he is.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, I was wrong, and it cost me $25,000.
And you talked about commentary a little bit. What do you guys think? We were watching the fight with Andre, before the show. What do you guys think when you hear the commentary back and they're trying to say what's going on in your heads? What do you guys think about that when you're watching it back, hearing what they're saying? Are they just off sometimes, and is it comical, or are they usually right?
It's a coin flip, because it's like certain people where if you already have a bad taste of somebody, it's like at the end that's it for them. There was like a little small moment where Dominic Cruz ended up saying something like very awkward. I forgot which fight it was, but he ended up saying something awkward, and like the whole side of my team and family were like, I don't know what Dominic Cruz was talking about. And then later on, his fight was next, or not that night, but it's like months later.
Yeah.
He fought the exact same way that how I did, and it was kind of like, bruh, you know, you're complaining about this, but you're saying this, and then now it's like when you end up hearing things, it's like, you already have a bad taste in my mouth type thing. And it's like I can't respect majority of you say or what you say. But then again, it's like when you end up re-listening it, when they're right, they're right, but when they're wrong, it's like, dang, it's really far off. You're wrong. And matter of fact, I remember it was against the Martinez fight. That's what it was.
Okay.
And it was like whatever Joe Rogan was saying, you know, Cruz was jumping on it, and it was kind of like, bro, you can't ride that. Like, you can't do that. Like,
you're a fighter.
Yeah, you're a fighter, and you know what, you know, it's like, don't get me wrong, Rogan does his, you know, he does his thing, and, you know, he is what he is, but when he ends up saying something, he's like baby Jesus to the dang mic and everything, you know, like, he can go ahead and say, hey, today, I need you guys to jump off a roof with a parachute. I bet money that there will be a good amount of number of people jumping off a roof with a parachute. I'm just simply saying, awkwardly, but it will end up happening. It's like, that's the type of voice power that he has, and it was against me versus Martinez, and that's where it happened. And it's like how people want to judge fights. Like, you got a 5-minute round, and you got these people that only judge 10 seconds. And if you're only going to judge 10 seconds, let me know, so I'll only fight for the last 10 seconds. I will not do nothing until the 10 seconds, since that's the only thing we were judging on. Like, you know, and then you have the other one. It's like, all right, what did they do for the full 5 minutes? Like, you know, it's like different things. And then the ones that credit you for the full 5 minutes or 4 minutes and say 50 seconds, and then the last 10 seconds you might get caught. But if you end up dominating 4 minutes and 50 seconds,
10 seconds
that's
matters.
your win.
It does not matter.
It shouldn't. That's how it should be. But and you know, and that fight, Rogan's mindset was, nah, you know, he lost that round. And then here, Dominic, he lost that round. And it's like, Dominic, you should know that it's a little bit better on the information. So like I said, mindsets of where your head's at, of how you feel about them.
Yeah, so talking about the commentary and stuff, and especially fighting at Apex, it's a little bit different. So it's so quiet, you can hear the commentary.
Yeah.
While you're in the cage, me and Andre, we're squared up, we're facing each other. I can hear what DC's saying, and there's some people will hear him and they'll point at him and say, hey, you know, whatever, or, you know, it is what it is. With that being said, it's not good, because if we can hear it, that means the judges can hear it. So if a judge is unsure, like, oh man, that round was close, but Joe Rogan said, oh well, clearly he won that round. Joe said it, or Dominic said it, and that I don't like that. I don't like that, because it's not it's not, you know.
What's your job?
This is your job to make a decision, but you can hear other people. Oh, he hit him with that good shot. Like I did watch it. And they're like, oh, Rosa cracked him. You rewatch it, it was a glance. He missed. He missed. He grazed him. He cracked him with a good shot, and the judge's like, oh man, maybe I didn't see that.
Maybe I didn't see that angle.
Oh shit.
That's right. That's true.
Or Dominic's like, oh, his leg's hurt. Well, I checked the kick, man. You know, it's like, well, here's the thing. My leg was hurt, but motherfucker, don't say that.
Don't say that.
Because now Rosa knows.
Now he knows. Yeah.
So he kicked,
whole corner knows.
and I'm trying to put on my poker face, and you know, after going to the doctor, like I had a little hairline, you know, on the front of my shin, but I'm trying to play it off. Well, Rosa just heard you say, oh, he's hurt. Well, if you watch the fight, he throws a kick, I step back, and then he throws another one, like, immediately after he says it. Because, again, he hears it. As much as a fan, I love listening. I don't like going into the arena as a fan and watching, because I like to hear the commentary. I like to be up close. Like, right now, like, this fight, like, this is a good angle. When you're in the arena, like, you're up there, you can't see any of this. Now you hear him talking, and that's great for TV. But, again, your opponent, if we're fighting, and he cracks me, and I'm pretending I'm not hurt, and he's like, oh, he's hurt. He might be like, oh shit, he's hurt, bop, 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 and then follow up. Or the judges, you know, same thing. So, again, it is what it is, man. That's why I don't care to fight in the Apex anymore. But I will if I have to.
Who are you all's? Do you guys like Cormier as a commentary?
I like them all personally. I like them all. Like I think I love that they're bringing in fighters to commentate instead of people that don't know anything. I would really like to see the UFC. I'd like to see Bellator rising. Hey, get rid of all these trash judges. I'm not saying all of them are trash, but there are a lot of trash ones, like Adelaide Bird. She's just trash. She's either incompetent, or she's a crook, and she's not incompetent. Like,
wait a minute. So Andre, if you have Adelaide Bird as a judge, just know.
Have you had her as a judge?
I don't think so.
See, okay.
I don't think so.
If you come out anytime you see a lady judge, just assume, okay? And assume that you're going to have to go to work.
Or maybe give her some flowers before the fight.
All right.
No, she's not good. She's gonna go the other way. Like, he's trying too hard. He's gonna lose every round. Like, literally, like okay.
I'm a request.
So just so you know who she is, she's the lady that I can't remember what fight that was, but it was a
Canelo.
Canelo fight, and I feel like it was Canelo versus Floyd, and like she gave the fight to Canelo.
Yeah.
If you
So
Google her,
Just Google
there's
her name, it's
a
gonna come up.
list of,
I end up recalling
She
that
got a
stuff.
lot.
Yeah.
She has a lot on her card, but now she's doing UFC too. And when
Yeah.
I saw that, I was like, no.
Yeah, and they probably ended up like they always probably got one judge to just say, well, regardless of the situation, always vote for red.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, I'm
Yeah.
gonna vote for red. Boom, boom, boom.
Like,
and there it is. Like,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know,
it's crazy. It's crazy. Like literally, the other two judges will see it the complete opposite direction, and then she will blow the card and she'll
All the
have
way
it
through.
for this person. So if maybe it was tight, that's how you lose a fight, because no, this person won. You know what I mean? Like won, and it's like, no, he didn't. It was close. No, he won. Like won by a lot too.
yeah, so,
You know what I
those
mean?
are the ones that they get paid under the table.
Here's the thing when it comes to the judges: is there's so many fighters, retired fighters, whether it's from injury, whether it's from age, they're looking for a job.
Yeah.
Put these retired fighters that have been in the cage that
Yeah.
understand as a judge. Put them
Let
through a
them be
couple
the judge,
courses.
yeah.
Put
Yeah.
them through a couple courses. They're way more competent than all these people that have never been there because they don't know the feeling. They don't know that
They don't know the
And that's why I
emotion.
like
Emotion.
the UFC does Twitter now. So you'll see the fighters kind of judging the
Yeah,
fight,
as
you
it
know,
goes, absolutely.
and they're usually right. They're usually, you know, I usually agree with what's going on with that. And then even this card last night, there was some very weird decisions.
Yeah.
It was
I'm
just
trying to think which ones.
the Macy Barber fight. Even this,
Oh, you had Macy losing.
I did too.
yeah,
Really?
even the
I didn't
Sandhagen
watch it. I didn't watch it.
Sanhagen
That one I
and
didn't catch.
Dillashaw,
I
that
had
was
Sandhagen
very
winning.
questionable.
I had Sandhagen
I thought
winning.
Sandhagen did
I
win.
had Sandhagen too. My brother had TJ.
I had TJ, but I'm a TJ fan.
You and my brother. Look, my brother's a TJ fan too. Look, he over here had the T hat for the tilt.
Yeah.
For TJ. Look, he did.
No, I mean I had TJ winning, but but at the same time I felt like he was pushing the action a lot. Like he was pushing Sandhagen around the cage a lot.
Sure.
Like he was always first in the action for the most part. Sandhagen got off. I'm not gonna say that he didn't by any means. But I did think that I felt like it was 3-2. I felt like he won 3 rounds pretty solidly.
But that was actually good though, because it's a close 3-2.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
regardless,
yeah.
meaning,
I can see it
hey,
going
if
that
it
way,
flipped
too.
the other way, hey, it's reasonable.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
at the same time, like Corey knew, what's up. He ended up stating it. It's like, hey, I felt like I did, but I know I let go on certain
Yeah.
rounds on gas. Like he explained it,
Yeah.
And this is the added reason, like, just how hard he was on him. Like, I don't think he's the type that, if you invite him to a radio show, he won't show up after he lost. Because,
Yeah.
his mindset is like, nah, I'm going to wait about three months, maybe 2.
Yeah.
And then, we can hold
Yeah.
a conversation again, But off on that, I felt that he won. That's just, I had him in the lead. But again, like how you're breaking it down, if you end up seeing it that way, hey, 3-2
And
the
that's
other
the thing.
way.
It's close. It's a toss up. But some of those fights where it just looks like it's totally should be over here and
Yeah.
it goes the other way.
Or
Those
it's
are the fights that are
4-1.
hard to
Yeah.
take because fighters all the time they're like, well, I should have finished instead of going to the
The
decision
decision.
anyways. So
And that's how my mindset's always like,
Yeah.
finish the fight. And granted, I know, like, I've been cursed with the decisions.
Oh, he ain't,
lately.
he ain't cursed, man. This guy has 3 split decision wins. That's
That part.
incredible, man. That's seriously
Yeah.
incredible. That means
Yeah.
it just shows how much heart and
Yeah.
determination he has going into the 3rd round. That's
Facts. That is
fucking.
facts.
I mean,
Do you guys
that's more
feel?
respect for Andre.
Do you guys
Yeah.
feel in those split decisions like when you're going into the 3rd round? Do you just know like, all right, I have to get this round just because it could be close? Like, how does that feel emotionally? Like Justin, in your last fight, I know that your corner said that you have to knock him out because they felt like you were down 2-0.
Yeah.
I felt like it was 1-1 because I felt like your first round was not even a question yours.
did too.
But going into that 3rd round, like, how do you feel? Like, how do you guys feel going in? Like, I have to do something at least to win this round.
Well, going back to my last fight, it's I wish my coach would have said something different. You know what I mean? And I've talked to him about it since, and we're going to continue to talk about it a little bit because again, I thought I won the first round, but when I'm on the stool going to 3rd, he's like, all right, you lost the first round. It threw me in a loop. You know what I mean? He's like, you need to finish this fight or you lost. And I'm like, whoa, like what? I thought I won the first round and lost the 2nd round. We're going to 3rd. So then when I didn't finish him, the only thing I sat down in the cage, I'm like, I just lost 20 grand. Like, oh my gosh, I was devastated.
Yeah.
But had he said, hey, look, you need to win this round, we can win this fight, I would have jumped up, hands in the air, like strutting around.
Yeah.
And then I heard split decision. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I knew I won the first round, you know.
Yeah.
But with that being said, yeah, you know, the energy going into the third round in a close fight, man, you got to bring it, and that's something that I really commend Andre for. That, you know, 3 times, and again, going against a UFC champion, like Hannah Brow, like this, like, what an opportunity, and what a stake going into the third round, or it was a 3-round or 5-round, 3-round, like, man, he shows up again, not going against some Joe Schmo. We're talking about a former UFC champion, man, and I just can't get over it, man. I'm so impressed by you being able to go in the third round and capitalize 3 different times. I've never, as an amateur, I have 72 or 73 MMA fights. I've never won a split decision.
Wow. Hold on, wait. Let's go back there. You have how many fights?
I think that was my 73rd.
73rd.
Yeah, I have like 50 amateur fights, and I have like 25 pro fights right now. 23.
Wow.
Yeah, so, and I've never won a split decision. As a pro, before I got to the UFC, I had 3 split decision losses.
Oh,
and they were always me going into foreign territory and losing. Like, I went to Hawaii, lost to Rachel's brother, Rob Yostovich, split decision. Lost to Jesse Gross in Ontario, Canada, where he's from, split decision. Lost to Tommy Aaron, split decision in California in his hometown. And then I lost to Jimmy Scuzzi by decision. But that's before I got to the UFC, I felt that was my only real loss. 3 split decision losses, and I lose to Charles Rosa. And I have 4 split decision losses on my resume. I split those in half and swing them the other way. You know, what are you going to do? Can't cry over spilled milk.
Yeah.
Wow. How many fights do you have, Andre?
Yeah, you got me lost right now.
I don't know about that many.
Yeah, I don't think I have that many. I'm going to go ahead and say, because I didn't have an amateur background for the MMA, and I wish I actually
You just had street fight background.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
So many of those. If we count
Montel
those.
told me some stories that I don't think we could
count those.
We count those. Your boy's up there.
Yeah,
but
Montel told me some stories I don't think we could talk about on air. But,
hey, yeah, me and him go back. I promise you. But
shout out to Montel.
Shout out. No, I got about, as of right now, I should have 24. If I'm not mistaken. Just that's in the MMA life right now.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely going back onto like the whole third round, and you know, people don't end up ever giving me like a lot of credit about that, especially like fighting with Hennon Brown in the hometown, the whole 9. You know, it ends up in my mindset of how I was taking it was just that, hey, I got stamina, I can go. You know, I've been working out, I've been training, and all this other stuff. But it's that other background, like it's that before I got there, I was always finishing my fights, like, you know, so it's like, obviously that's where my mindset is like, I have to try to get back to that, but I'm figuring out, like I stated, my best answer is like, all right, we got to move up and let's kind of like see where we're at with that and everything. But off on the, like the split decisions, it's mindful. You don't know how it's going to go. And then just how he was stating about the coaches, it always determines on what they're sitting there saying. And it's like, you do want that good feedback. And it's like one of those things we were talking about like last week with it was Tank Davis versus whoever the Mayweather came over there. You're losing on the undercards, like you know the undercard cards and everything. And he was like, you know, they started to argue low key, like, what you mean, like, you know, like, no, I didn't say you're losing. They say you're losing. I'm telling you that they're saying you're losing. You need to change your your attitude, or you know, the way that you're fighting and everything. So it's kind of like that. So everything ends up seeing what type of motivation it is. It's like, hey, Dre, first round was close. You need to end up changing up a different style so we don't get back to that 50-50 mark, you know. And so now you go into the second round with that in the mindset of, just in case they would have gave it to him, I'm about to take this one.
Yeah.
So now you know it's that 50-50 in the first round, second round, and now it's like my eyes, where I look at it in the third round is put your heart on the line. Fuck it. Or mess it.
Yeah.
You're good. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, just like put your heart on the line. So, you know, and that's just how I normally roll on the third round. Like, hey, I already gave you what I got, what I had in the first 2. So I'm about to give you everything else I have in this tank. So here we go. If you take me out, like I said, I'm the guy that wants to die on my shield. Like, hey, I am going to fight, and this is how we are. This is my sword, and this is what we are. Like samurai mentality, how I look at it.
So what's this move to 145 going to look like for you? And are you for sure doing that for your next fight?
For sure. Definitely. I already talked to Matt, and Matt's supposed to try to get along with Shelby, see what's going to go on from here and on out. But I told him, only time you're going to see me at 35 if it makes sense. And for it to make sense, it's going to have to be like one of those Sean O'Malley called me out. Yeah. And I don't think that's ever, and, you know, he's not going to happen. You know, they're keeping him away from me. And then you got other certain fighters that they are keeping away from me. So it's
why are they keeping them away from you?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Dive into that.
It's like this. A lot of people at the weight class I end up getting called out. It's like I am a risk taker. You know, I'm like in the middle where it's either I performed pretty bad, which one I ended up doing in one of my fights, and then there's that other side like, hey, Dre's a really big risk where he's gonna end up just walking in there and killing you at the end of the day. It's like it's like literally the mediocre of the two. Like say for instance, for example, no one wanted to fight Chito. Chito, there was a little spot that Chito couldn't get a fight.
Yeah.
They offered me. I took it. And, you know, in my eyes, a lot of people, you know, like a few of the corners was like, oh, no, I don't think you should take it. But in my head, it's that, nah, Chito, I beat him. I'm on the mat. At the end of the day, you call him that dangerous, then I want him because he's that dangerous, you know. And then now, as that happened, I take that fight. Everything ended up changing on my side where I didn't know by me taking that fight, I became more of the danger zone where people didn't want to take me on. Because me fighting Chito, it was good. It was close. It was, you know, I was getting upper hand. And then the third round, you know, I'm going to say the human, or, you know, Tampa weather got
the
to your boy. Yeah, it started shutting your boy down. You know, like I hit him with like one nice 1-2 and I dipped my head. I went right into a pocket of a a guillotine. I was like, oh man, and I told you the claustrophobic kicked in. I said, hold on. But you know, going back off on that, but the thing is I performed really well until that. Like you gotta end up understanding that. So like at 35, I'm long, I'm taller, I'm bigger than a lot of everybody. So, and on top of that, a lot of my first rounds and second rounds, I come out hot. So you gotta end up thinking about a lot of people that these people that have been challenging or been getting offered my name, they ain't accepting it because of that. Like, nah, there's a good chance that we might get a 50-50. We don't want to end up making you look bad. Or, hey, there's a good chance of he might slip up since he comes out really hot in the first round. You start slow, it might be that. It could end up being a lot of things where it's like a risk with me where I can end up waiting and play the easy route. And matter of fact, in points to actually Sean, he ended up saying the same thing. Like, why would I end up doing extra if I'm getting paid the same? He ended up making made a comment. And I'm not saying it was towards me, but it was verbally as in, hey, if you're telling me if I can go ahead and fight Chito or I can go ahead and fight this person, and I'm getting ready to make 70K, I'm going to fight this person.
Yeah.
Sure. You know, and Floyd even said that. And that's the mindset. And it's like, more that you end up in the game, you end up understanding how they move and how they range on a lot of things. Like, you know, like if I'm going to make the same, I might as well just fight this person. But if you're giving me an extra here, then I'll go ahead and fight this person.
Sure. And
then I was the type of, and you know, and Justin also end up, hey, you give me a good fight. If we go out to fight, we go ahead and fight. Our mindset is we like to fight. Like, I want to fight. Let's fight. Let's go. But they got the people in the back of them like, nah, we're going to have to gonna hold back.
We're gonna pass
we'll wait for him towards the end, or we're gonna fight him when he gets ranked, or we're gonna fight him when that happens. Do we really want to fight him? Because we'll go ahead and say with Kyle Phillips versus Paiva last night. That was a flyweight. That was a flyweight that was not supposed to be fighting him, and he gets a short notice, and he gets like the outcome of him winning. You gotta think about that. Like, you know, that was not supposed to be a dangerous fight, but it became a dangerous fight because that dude had heart, and he actually sits and walks around at that weight. So it was like he was good, and that's what ended up happening. So Matrix, as in, you know, what ends up happening, that's what he ended up getting. But they've been kind of tailoring around a lot of these fighters, and you know, you just kind of got to end up looking and viewing of how they end up matching out and how they end up playing. Like, everybody knows to this day, me and O'Malley would be an awesome fight. Everybody knows this. Everybody's trying to push this. Everybody's sitting and speaking on it. They constantly keep tagging. The world's tagging it. But it doesn't happen. Got to end up putting two together. That's why I look at it.
And you guys are both two exciting fighters, similar style.
Similar style, exciting, and it's going to be fireworks. Someone's going to get finished. If it somehow gets to the end or, you know, to a decision, just know that it would have been either a fight of the night or a contender of a fight of the night. I'm just simply saying, between me and O'Malley, that's where it should happen.
Now,
well, you don't think that will ever happen?
I think it will happen. I feel like once I end up dominating 45, and then, like I said, when I get in a good position or whatever ends up happening at the 45, I get to call whoever I want, and that's where it's at, where you want to get to the position where you're able to call out whoever and wherever you want. Because 35 is not out of the question, but if the fight's right, I'm gonna go. Like, hey, they said Aldo at 35, oh, I'm cutting the weight. Like, you know, if they sat there and said, you guys got Cody. I know. It's like, hey, I'm cutting the weight. Like, you know, it's like, you know, Dominic and Uriah. and I want to bring Uriah back out, and I know that he ain't gonna probably make 35, but he'll fight at 45, I bet, and I'll fight him at 45. But it's just, if it makes sense, I'll go down to 35. But if not, it's 45 for me.
Now, you quickly talked about basically that people see you as one fighter or mediocre fighter. How can you continue to tap into this problem fighter that nobody wants to see? Like, do you feel like, I know you talked about, when we talked about fear before and walking in the octagon and things like that, is there something that you can tap into that keeps you over on this side? Because that guy potentially is a champion.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's automatically comes to me basically developing and adapting better, as in more wrestling. Like, and granted that I had to put styles and off on things, but when I started everything, all the thing I was doing was striking and wrestling. Like, like Jits came in, but it was more on that scrambling type ordeal of put like this, like how Aldo is. Aldo, or majority of the Brazilian fighters, they're black belts. But if you catch people like Aldo, how many submissions do you see him actually do? Or how many attempts? You don't really see it. It's really just if you take me down, I'm getting back up. If you put me in position, I'm getting out. Yeah. It's like that. Like Hayden Brown also off on certain amount of his fights. So there's like a little mentality on that. Like, I got to end up sticking with the aggressiveness of my boxing / wrestling, and and anything else that I end up adding in, it's going to be there. I think I got very complacent and very on the calm side of me jumping in jits, so I was thinking more jits mentality. And like against Chris Gutierrez in the second round, like I literally jumped for a heel hook. Yeah. Like, and granted, I felt like it was there, it was locked, it was synced. It's just that I forgot to lace one leg. If I would have laced it, I would have had the heel hook. Or if I ended up adapting into a straight leg or an ankle lock, type of thing. Mindset was that, but instead, if I would have been grounding and pounding of me sitting how I was, there's a mentality of a great fighter. And granted, like, I ended up losing the last two. Everybody ends up telling me, hey, Dre, it was a good performance. Like, you were good. Yeah. It's just that you got the short end of the stick, or, hey, it wasn't your night. And it's, you get to this moment where you don't want that no more. It's like, I'm tired of wasn't your night. Every night should be my night. Every time that you go out there, you're prepared for it. It needs to be your night. Hey, you need to automatically make it happen. And for that, it all starts with the mind, the mental, as I'm going to have to call Mike now.
He's good.
I need to get up in there. I'm about to call Mike now.
Do you ever go to the PI to train out here?
Once in a while. Last time I was out here, the whole COVID thing happened, and this is also in the part of USADA situation kicked in. So when I got into that, it was like, all right. As a matter of fact, I was actually supposed to come out or over here and visit you guys that I hit y'all with that. Like, hey, they ended up quarantining me, so I can't do nothing. So I got to go back and the whole nine. But yeah, that was the last time, but I'm thinking about like purchasing a home out here.
Oh, okay, nice.
Trying to move over here and do
it's cheaper out here, bro.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
Those taxes are better out here.
Yeah, that's until you hit the casino.
You gotta stay out of here.
Yeah.
Justin's been winning at the poker table.
Yeah, sometimes.
Stay out of Justin. Stay. Don't go out with Justin. Justin's all in. Okay.
All in, man. I put my money on the line.
We can't all walk around with the DiBiase belt.
And I'm really bad too, because if he does, I'll do it too. He said, "Are you all in? You sure?" All right, I'm all in too.
I'm the same way.
Everybody push it in. We're good.
It's so funny.
Had you guys met before?
No,
this is the first.
Yeah,
it's the first. I was already a fan as soon as you said it. I was like, oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, hell yeah. Man.
I was like, yeah, he's gonna bet everything on his life. I like him. You cannot go wrong with that, man.
That's dope, man. Any last words, last shout outs you want to give to your people?
Man, obviously follow me on Instagram, and shout out to Team Ewell, the Dots Sports, the whole 9 Dynasty, everybody in there. End up sending nothing but love to my two boys, June and Eli. Family at home. Hey, granted that we lost last night, we're gonna end up turning it back in. I'm back in, and we're gonna be moving up and end up moving into a better situation for us. So we're back on the horse. Let's go.
So you're excited about moving up to 45?
Oh, definitely. And I think you not even understand. Even the PI is even excited. Every time I tell them, "I'll go to 45," yeah.
Nice.
It's like they're all like, because they buff, unless they be wearing like small shirts or something, but they chests just pop up and everything. Like, yeah, I can't wait because we're gonna bulk you up. I'm like, all right, bulk me up.
Good, man. Any last words, Justin?
Oh no, man. It's been an honor to sorry about last night, but This guy's a legend, man. He fought one of my teammates, Gustavo Lopez, a couple years ago, and Gustavo's as tough as nails, and you know, he beat him. So, man, much respect. Goes on again. I just can't get over the fact. Split decision in Brazil, UFC ex-champ. Like, I'm like fanboying right now, man. It's awesome.
I'm a fan. Man, that's nice. Thank you, brother.
I love it. Anything, baby Ben? Get us out of here. Send us home.
Send us home, boy.
I want Instagram followers.
All right, give me your Instagram.
Go ahead. This is your moment.
Your Instagram. This is your moment,
This
man.
is your TikTok moment. This is everything.
No,
You can
Instagram.
you got TikTok. Don't play with me. I know you do.
I do it. I don't like it though. I don't like it.
All right.
What's your Instagram?
Bean Janes. It's not Ben, but it's a bean.
Bean. BEAN.
Janes.
Janes.
Mhm.
JAYNES.
Mhm.
All right. Follow him. I'm gonna follow you right now. Are you gonna follow me back though?
I will.
Okay.
I wasn't confident enough.
He said, you put me on the spot right now.
Yeah, he's like, I'll see if your Instagram's interesting first, right?
Yeah. He just started. He just got his first.
My account. I couldn't log back into my old account.
Okay, so you had to get a new one.
Your last one got hacked at 25,000 is what you.
He had about 25,000 followers, man.
You know, Garbrandt probably hacked you, man.
That's what I think. I think Garbrandt got his ass.
Garbrandt hacked
No, when I tried to log in, it said suspicious login attempt.
Yeah, Garbrandt.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's what it is, man.
Garbrandt did it. Man,
He sicked his people on you, Ben. I'm sorry it happened. You shouldn't have been talking to his girl like that, man.
He's married. He has kids.
All right.
Airing him out.
Damn,
man.
I'm a fan, but I'm not a fan. Sideline 8.
my favorite fighter, but leave my girls alone.
Cody Garbrandt's been always my favorite fighter.
That's
Yeah.
good.
You gotta cheer for Dad, man.
Well, besides him.
All right.
Okay, there we go.
Besides
Cool.
that,
Made it up.
that's cool, I guess.
Made it up. All right, man. We definitely appreciate everyone for tuning in, and you know, if you're watching the replay, we appreciate that. We are here live whenever we go live now. It
Mike,
seems
we're coming back
summertime.
tomorrow?
Okay. I
All
don't
right,
know.
thank you, because tomorrow is Monday. We're supposed to have it on Monday. Sheesh.
We'll see. I thought you were going out of town tomorrow.
No, I
Still
leave.
something.
I leave Thursday for
We'll see.
Utah.
We'll see.
So, yeah.
All right, Andre, appreciate you coming in, bro.
Thanks for having me.
Justin,
Always.
co-host with us anytime,
Yes, sir.
man.
Anytime, man. I love coming in.
Appreciate having you in here, man. So hopefully we'll be doing that more, doing some more just MMA shows. You know, we'll be talking about that in the future as well. So for Josh, Andre, Big James, Little James, I'm Quan 59, and we will see you next time on Unnamed Sports Show. We are out.